What surprises them is not the outcome, it is your awareness. They assumed that you were unaware. They thought that you missed the signs. They believed that you would stay in the dark while they moved carelessly. But you were observing. You noticed the inconsistencies, the subtle shifts in tone, the unspoken motives. You did not react immediately because you were confirming what you already sensed. You startled them the moment that you walked away. They had mistaken your quietness for ignorance, your kindness for weakness, your honesty for naivety. They admired arrogance and mistook aggression for strength. But time has a way of revealing what noise conceals. They did not understand you. You were reserved not because you lacked anything, but because you possessed depth. You didn't speak to dominate a room. You spoke when there was something worth saying. And those who chatter endlessly often reveal their emptiness without realizing. They assumed that you were unaware, yet all along you had seen the patterns. You saw the manipulation. You saw the subtle attempts to belittle, to provoke, and to test your boundaries. And still, you remained composed. Not because you were incapable of confrontation, but because you were capable of restraint. There were moments you could have erupted. Moments you could have humiliated them with truth. Moments you could have matched hostility with force. But you chose discipline. You chose patience. You chose to pray for them rather than expose them. You hoped that one day they would awaken and their conscience would correct them. Instead, their behavior worsened. So you did the one thing that they never expected. You left without any spectacle, without any revenge, and you didn't even attempt to slander their name. Even when they were damaging your name, you did not chase every lie. You allowed time to defend you, and that is what unsettles them most. They now realize that you knew. You saw through it all. You were never deceived. You were simply observing. It feels to them as though they stood exposed under a light that they could not dim. They thought that you were fragile, but only a strong person can endure provocation without losing character. They knew of your past trials. They knew what you survived. They should have recognized your resilience. Yet, because you were generous, because you were truthful, because you refused to operate from cruelty, they assumed that you were a fool. But what they failed to understand is you live by principle. You noticed long ago that when you walk uprightly, when you honor God's commands, your life aligns. Doors open. Protection follows you. Provision appears at the precise moment when it is needed. You recognized that pattern. You saw the correlation between obedience and blessings. Many never perceived that connection, but you did. And that awareness shaped you. You will not abandon integrity simply because it is unpopular. You're not going to dilute truth to gain approval, even if you are misunderstood, even if you are opposed, because you have witnessed the faithfulness of God too many times to doubt it now. And that is strength that they cannot imitate. I'd like to end this message off with a parable. In a field stood a young oak tree. It did not grow as quickly as the tall reeds beside it. The reeds mocked the oak, whispering, "Why do you grow slowly? Why do you not sway and dance like us?" The oak didn't say anything. It only sent its roots deeper. Seasons passed, and one year a violent storm swept across the field. The reeds bent wildly, thrashing with every gust. Many were uprooted, but the oak remained. Not because it was louder, not because it was harsher, but because its roots were anchored far beneath the surface. After the storm, the field was quiet, and the oak still stood. The lesson? Noise is not strength, aggression is not power, and restraint does not mean weakness. True strength is the ability to see clearly and still choose righteousness. When you anchor yourself in truth and root yourself in obedience to God, you may appear slow to react, but you will be immovable when tested. So let others misunderstand you. Let them underestimate you. Depth does not need applause. And what is rooted in God cannot be uprooted by man. And that's it for this message. I'd like to thank everyone who made it to the end of the video. I'm truly honored by your support. If this message resonated with you at all, please consider dropping a comment, giving me some feedback, hitting the like button, and subscribing. It's been Chris and Isty, and until next time, take care and have a good one.